So I was going to start this video off saying this is the sad reality of my home office slash studio. It's really more of an office than a studio, but it's the only place I can record my videos here for YouTube, but it is also my work at home office when I do work from home. But I'm going to stop myself because it's not a sad reality. It's just the reality of how my brain works at times, because I really like a clean space. However, if you look at the wide shot of my office and my desk here, it's not very clean, or at least it's clean, but it's very disorganized, and there's lots of stuff in here right now. And it gets in my way, but it's my own fault. And that's just how it ends up sometimes, having a lot of stuff on my desk and a lot of stuff in the background. Can you even see back there? I've got all of these bags with cables that just came back from my last show. I've got a case where I'm trying to organize that stuff. I have this whole huge tripod set up on wheels where I've been testing my OBSBot tail air camera for an upcoming event to see if it's the right camera for the job. It may or may not be. I've got some DVDs back there because I've actually been trying to get back into importing my DVD library into my home media library, so I don't actually have to get the DVDs out anymore. I've got two microphones on this swiveling tripod because I've been testing them and I need to swing them in and out. So this is just how it works, but it's getting a little messy. Like, you know, it's pretty bad when you have to step over a Pelican case and around a huge tripod just to get over to maybe close the blinds on, the office window here. Not to mention the fact that you have to make room for your fuzzy kids because they just want to come in here and sleep on the comfortable couch in my home office while I do work over there. And he usually wins that battle. I mean, come on. Like, he's adorable. Bowie. Yeah, he wins most days. And I really don't like it this way. I hate things being in my way. There's stuff all over my desk. I can't even get to my desk. I can barely even put my coffee cup down. But I love tinkering with stuff. I love testing things. I like seeing what works and what doesn't for either a video here on YouTube or for my actual work. My work is in live event production. And as a project manager, I often go between sitting here at my desk and working completely on administrative things, making schedules and doing diagrams in Vectorworks and spending a lot of time in spreadsheets and our ordering system to make sure that all the logistics for our shows and all of the equipment and all the people get to where they're going and that the show is a success. But depending on the size of the show, I may need to utilize a piece of gear, maybe a piece of gear that I own or that I have access to, so I will set it up here on my desk and test some things, maybe pre-program the show on a computer before I get there. And this is what happens. This is a lot of stuff. I've got a label maker. I've got a Hollyland wireless transmitter. I've got two V-mount batteries that I'm testing. I've got an audio interface over here. I have my coffee, of course, which is cold because it took me too long to set up for this video. I've got 3 microphones sitting on my desk right now. I've got my Raspberry Pi and little router setup that I took on my last show. I've got hard drives, I've got an HDMI to SDI converter, I've got my laser measure, I've got Arca Swiss clamps and plates, network cables and dongles. And I'm actually going to clean this up today, which is half the reason I wanted to film it like this, because I just like knowing the technology that I'm going to use before I go to use it. And so this is the perfect place, despite it getting messy, where I can do that. And really, it just boils down to kind of me liking many different aspects of a lot of things, and I just like being prepared. And this mess of an office right now is part of me being prepared. It lets me set up everything that I can and I need to here in this space, and then test it and test it and test it again to make sure it's ready and that I have all the right information. So it's like my laboratory, if you will, where I can just test stuff and yet further confuse my own brain because I like clean and clear spaces. But every time I have a clean and clear space, I go, well, that's a nice, clean, clear space. It's the perfect space for a project. And so I get out more projects. But I think today may be cleanup day. And once I get it cleaned up, I'm sure I'll set up another project. So I guess this is just a reminder to myself that even though I'm very particular and a bit obsessive compulsive at times, that I am thankful that I have this space where I can do things here and just kind of satisfy that part of my brain that just needs to know things and stuff about all the things and stuff that I use in my work and in my play, and just, get better and better at it every day. And I think being technically adept at things is something that for a long time has become less important to a lot of people, whereas managerial tasks and sales has become this huge important thing. And I think that's where technical adeptness gets lost, because it's not respected as much. It's not seen as something that is as important as sales and networking, all this stuff. Now, it's reciprocal. Technical people and introverts like myself, we need people to go out there and be the people. But those people, in my opinion, need those of us that are technical. Now, my job is a little bit of both. I have to be a people person at times, and then other times I don't want to be, and I don't have to be all the time. So I'm right in the middle of those things, but I just believe that most organizations and jobs that we have, the organization is a pie, and every piece of that pie needs to be filled. Otherwise, it's not a whole pie. All of these pieces come together to make a whole. No single piece of the pie is more important than the other, because without all of the individual pieces coming together, you just don't have a whole. You need all of the pieces of Voltron to make Voltron, which is greater than the sum of its parts. So I just believe that things are reciprocal. There's a yin and a yang to everything, and we can all work together and be disorganized in our organization or organized in our disorganization. So I don't know. That's my ramble for this video. Just thought I would share here so you can see a little bit of my disorganized, organized brain. So I don't know. My coffee's cold. I think I'll get this place cleaned up and then see where that leads. Stay with me if you like. All right. It's not perfect, but it's perfecter. We won't talk about that section of my desk because you can't see it. Anyway,